are no more questions about his health, no more questions about his stamina, and there are no more questions about his standing as an elite pitcher. The only question seems to be, what will he do next? Find out with us when Yu Darvish and the Rangers meet the Oakland A's next. Globe Life Park on a Saturday evening, and there is a lot of energy here in town, as often there is, following those exciting walk-off wins like the Rangers had last night. Today, with the best record in the American League, they play host once again to the Oakland A's. And hello again, everybody. Great to be with you. I'm Dave Raymond with Steve Busby. Oh, the Rangers playing some great baseball right now, and it doesn't really matter where they are. They have the best record in the American League. However, what they do here at home, Buzz, it's been pretty special.
Yeah, it has been, Dave. They've turned Globe Life Park into a house of horrors for visiting clubs. They just have found different ways almost every night to win, and they've won 48 ball games here at home out of 70 that they played so far. There's the record for you, 48-22. That's the best in the American League, second only in baseball to the Chicago Cubs. That's the best 70-game record, home record in Ranger franchise history, and they won 12 of their last 14 here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. So, you know, if you're a visiting team and you come in here, you see those numbers, and you say, why are we even bothered to show up? But the Rangers have made sure to keep those numbers going and keep that in everybody's heads when they come in here.
No doubt, and as they continue to work toward the best record for the regular season, that could mean, or will mean, home field advantage through the playoffs. Last night, Jonathan Lucroy, the man who delivered the walk-off win, as the Rangers took the opener against Oakland, looking for similar magic once again tonight. Dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today for incredible deals and see why Ford is the best in Texas. By AT High-Speed Internet. Get a deal worth talking about. Get high-speed internet from AT. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. All set to go tonight. Rangers and A's, second game of this 3-game series. And we check in for the first time tonight with Emily Jones.
Well, Dave, with a magic number of 6 and 14 games to play, the natural tendency for us as fans is to let our mind wander into the postseason. However, that is not the mentality within the Rangers clubhouse.
We're just enjoying, the way we're playing, all the results, the outcomes of every game. But we just having a lot of fun every single day. I think that's the big key for us, and knowing that we're close, to make it to the postseason. But at the same time, still a lot of baseball ahead. So trying to stay, focused on every single day. Don't try to move or start thinking too close about it. Just go out there and continue to winning series.
And that seems to be a recurring theme within this Rangers clubhouse. Even as these games gain more and more importance, they get closer to the postseason, they just keep talking about having fun, playing loose, the way that they have been all season. They figure if they change anything at this point in the game, it's not going to be a good thing. So having fun is the status quo at this point, and that's the way they intend to keep it, Dave.
All right, yeah, thanks, Emily. And it is fun when you're winning as much as this team has been this year. As we get ready for tonight's game, let's take a look at the Oakland A's starting lineup tonight. Joey Wendell, the rookie, at second base, leading it off. Danny Valencia at right field, bats second. Stephen Vogt is the DH today. He'll bat third. The guy you have to worry about always, Chris Davis in left field, batting cleanup. 8 home runs this year against the Rangers. Ryan Healy's been hot at third base, batting fifth. Yonder Alonso at first. Marcus Semien at short. Bruce Maxwell behind the plate, and then Brett Eibner has the start in center field, rounds things out for the A's.
And that's Bob Melvin's lineup is going to face the 30-year-old right-hander for the Rangers, Yu Darvish. And Darvish tonight making his 15th start of the year, 5-4 with a .328. Those numbers a little bit deceiving because Darvish of late has been extremely good, and especially against these Oakland A's. Talked in our pregame about how he had turned things around against Oakland. Yu Darvish has 8 losses against the Oakland A's. There's no other team in baseball that he has more than 4 losses against. So Oakland's really been a bedeviler for Yu Darvish, but he has found an answer. And that breakdown of fastballs, sliders, is tilting more toward fastball curveball rather than fastball slider. And Yu Darvish feels that's a plus as he goes forward.
Well, and he starts us off tonight with ball 1 to Joey Wendell, the left-handed hitter. Wendell at .319 coming in. Still looking for his first big league homer, and he'll turn that one sharply foul. Look out in that Rangers dugout. So an opening salvo to the dugout. Be on your toes. I got in there in a hurry.
I don't think I've ever seen a line drive pulled quite that much. Jeff Benner's probably thinking the same thing. He's, wait a minute. Yeah, we've got a few guys checking out now. I'm going to go down below where it's a little bit safer in that tunnel.
Good
Holy
night.
cow.
Here's the 1-1. And that ball hit very well right field and gone. Well, first big league homer in Joey Wendell's career starts the scoring tonight. 1-0 Oakland.
Now Darvish, after that fastball pulled into the dugout, decided he'd go with something off speed and left it up where Wendell could get the barrel of the bat on it. And this young man certainly did. He has been very impressive in his first look at the major league level. He targets it down and away, and that ball just spun and hung, and Wendell said thank you very much. Well, back in that leadoff spot, Wendell has done some damage in his 2 weeks in the big leagues.
I had a little bit of that sound, and a no-doubter. I mean, that was gone the moment it left his bat, and there's a sharp liner right to Beltran. Wow. The ball stung in this first inning. 1 away. Danny Valencia also had you talking to yourself. Hit that ball about as well as he could.
You know, they call it the hot corner for a reason. Beltre just barely had time to get that glove up. The ball was on him in very little time.
As is the case with Adrian Beltre, able to handle it. He is so good down there at third, and now he's got the entire left side of the infield to himself as Stephen Vogt steps in. Rangers employing that three-man infield on the right side against this left-handed hitter. 1-1 to Vogt. Saw the .261 average, the 12 home runs this year. But he's been swinging it pretty well recently. A lot of the Oakland A's hitters have. This offense has been clicking lately. And Vogt sends this one out to left. Playable though for Gomez. 2 gone here with the first. Let's take a look at that Rangers defense tonight, delivered to you by the Texas Department of Transportation. Gomez with that play in left. Ian Desmond in center. Nomar Mazara in right. Left side of the infield has Beltre and Andrus. Right side Odor and Moreland. And Jonathan Lucroy has the job tonight back behind home plate with Darvish on the mound. So the leadoff homer by Wendell. Now with 2 outs. I think Chris Davis looked like he was swinging for it all right there. .250 average, and you see the home runs. He's done that a lot. 38 of them this year, 96 RBIs. Had a home run yesterday, but in an 0-2 hole here.
Yeah, Chris Davis very rarely dials it back to take a 2-strike approach. His 2-strike approach is to swing it just like he did on his first pitch and first strike. So doesn't change much, and that'll lead to the 152 strikeouts to go along with his 38 home runs.
Well, that is a good point. A number they're willing to sacrifice for the production on his homers, and there's the breaking ball for strike 3. So Darvish gets his strikeout, but gave up the home run to Wendell, and now the Rangers come to bat. Starting lineup for the Rangers tonight, 88 and 60. And Jeff Bannister starts it off with Carlos Gomez at left field. Ian Desmond batting second in center field. Carlos Beltran, the DH. Adrian Beltre at third base, bats cleanup. Rougned Odor at second base, swinging a hot bat. Jonathan Lucroy with a walk-off last night. Mitch Moreland at first. Nomar Mazara at right. Elvis Andrus at shortstop tonight, all against Raul Alcantara.
Alcantara making his third big league start. A young man that throws fairly hard and sometimes doesn't have much of an idea where it's going. Rangers obviously have not seen him before, but just his third big league start, 7.27 ERA, and that's a little bit misleading. He had a rough first outing Second one pitched reasonably well, went 5 2/3 his last time out. So somewhere in between is what you can expect to see from Alcantara. Not almost 70% fastballs. More effective though when he mixes in his changeup, apparently.
Gomez going after an off-speed pitch there and sends it foul. So 1-2 the count on Carlos.
Alcantara's changeup is probably his better off-speed pitch between that and the slider, and he'll go with that a little bit more. But he will throw a slider and an occasional curveball. The fastball has been problematic. The command of it has been problematic for him, and that's really been his downfall when he hasn't pitched well, whether it's been at the big league level or AAA or AA, where he pitched in both leagues this year.
Got ahead of Gomez and strikes him out with a fastball. That one at 95 miles per hour. Take a look at the Oakland A's defense tonight. Chris Davis in left, Brett Eibner in center field, Danny Valencia in right. It's Ryan Healy and Marcus Semien on the left side of the infield. Wendell and Alonso on the right side, and Bruce Maxwell II doing the catching this evening for Oakland. Here's Ian Desmond. And a fastball in there for strike one.
One thing we might want to mention early, Dave, and I'm not trying to throw a blanket on the party, but Rangers have had problems with pitchers this year who have had good changeups and been able to throw strikes with both the fastball and the changeup. And if Alcantara is able to get that changeup in the strike zone, he could be a problem for the Rangers.
Well, back to your initial point too about command,
right?
And that has been a real issue for him. He tried to get one upstairs, and it was, but just a little too far that time. 1-2 to Desmond. He throws less than 40% strikes so far this year.
Called strikes,
yeah.
or total?
Yeah, total.
Swinging everything. Yeah,
that's a really low number. Desmond shoots one down the right field line, but just foul. Boy, that was trouble off the bat, but Ian couldn't keep it fair. 1-2 on the Rangers' second place hitter. And oh boy, here we go. Yesterday we had the Tony Beasley back in the clubhouse and the dugout. It was a big lift for everybody. And today, Prince, he's back. The boys were here today, and man, it was great to see Fielder down there. Big smile on his face, excited to see everybody. And a swing and a miss. Desmond down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts to start this one tonight.
Alcantara is showing you a pretty good four-seam fastball up, and then a pretty good two-seam fastball that seems to dive down and into the right-handed hitters. That's a pretty good combination. He gets that changeup in there. He's got a pretty good three-pitch mix.
Yeah, as he's generally right around the strike zone so far, that could make it tough. And there you go, strike delivered to Beltran. Carlos at 297. 27 home runs, another big year for him. A couple of doubles yesterday. Moved him past Lou Gehrig on the all-time doubles list. He's now 38th in Major League history. 2-1 the count. He was a big part of the comeback last night. In fact, it was his double with one out in the ninth inning that got everything started. Ultimately led to that two-run ninth inning rally and victory. And he hits this one out into right field, a base hit. Well, Beltran just keeps on chugging. Talking about the doubles list. Well, next up, Hal Simmons, Winfield, Medwick, and then Rogers, Hornsby. Boy, those are some huge names on that list.
Yeah, and folks at home, don't adjust your TV sets. Those are black and white pictures. It's not your TV.
First pitch to Beltran, misses for a ball. Yeah, didn't have a whole lot of Polaroid cameras back then for Hornsby. Adrian, 30 home runs, just a massive year for Adrian. 1-1 to count. He's on an 8-game hitting streak, as you see right there, and with power. His 5 home runs for the month trail only those of Brian Dozier, the Minnesota Twins, who has had a sort of otherworldly month of September. Playing pretty much straight up. 1-2. The count to Beltre. The leadoff homer by Joey Wendell. Got Oakland started. And so the Rangers once again in a spot where if they're going to win this one, they're going to have to come from behind. And a strike out of the side by Alcantara. Pretty impressive bottom of the first inning for the Oakland rookie. We'll go to the second. 1-0 A's. Rangers baseball presented by AT high-speed internet. Prince Fielder introduced by Chuck Morgan, showing up on the scoreboard, and as you can see, all smiles today, just a real lift in his spirits, and I think everybody else's today to see him back with the ball club. Got a chance to speak with him briefly this afternoon, but feeling good. Getting around fine. Everything's good with Prince. That's sort of always the case with him. Everything's good. Ryan Healy. Boy, everything's been great for this guy lately, leading things off for Oakland. And a breaking ball by Darvish. Gets away from him a little bit. Ball one. Big time numbers for this young man. And he has acquitted himself nicely against one of the elite pitchers in the game. 2 for 5 against Darvish. A real nice breaking ball that time, but it missed, and it's 2-0. I mentioned earlier John Tumpain, the plate umpire. He's got a reputation of being a guy who will call some strikes, and he calls one right there with a good fastball. Has a plate today. Porter, Morales, Jeff Kellogg, our crew chief. He had the plate last night. Darvish got 1 strikeout in the first inning, and crowds Healy. It's 3-1. And when you talk about Yu Darvish, that is what you talk about. The strikeouts. That has been his identity. To date, guys with at least 500 career innings, nobody has struck out batters at a higher rate than Darvish. And he misses on Healy, first walk of the night. Take a look at our Kubota power stats. 84 punch-outs since the break. That's 5th most. But it's 9 or more strikeouts in 6 starts since the All-Star break, including his first, which was at Wrigley Field. Struck out 9 and 4 1/3 innings that afternoon with John Tumpane back behind home plate. Healy at first, Yonder Alonso, and Darvish falls behind.
Yeah, I think Darvish has discovered also, Dave, that he can still ring up the strikeouts, but he can use fewer pitches doing it. Since he and Jonathan Lucroy started working together the 2nd of August, they have found together that Darvish had been a little hesitant to work a lot off the fastball. He wanted to make the breaking ball his primary out pitch. And I think Jonathan Lucroy has convinced him, hey, your fastball is good enough, you don't have to do that. That you can get deeper into ball games, use fewer pitches, and still get the strikeouts, but it'll be a 3-pitch or 4-pitch strikeout instead of a 5 or 6 or 7-pitch strikeout.
You were pointing out earlier, he's gotten the average pitch count per inning under 15
right
now as a result.
Yeah, exactly, and that's really critical because you'd like to have your horse, and Darvish is one of 2 horses that the Rangers are fortunate enough to have, to be able to throw 7 innings and sometimes 8 innings and occasionally a complete game if necessary.
This one misses wildly in and allows Healy to scamper out to second base. That will be a wild pitch. It'll also make it a 3-0 count on Yonder Alonso. Oh, feeling around for it right now.
It looks like to me that the balance right now is a little bit of a problem for Darvish, and balance during the delivery to the plate, where he's not consistently loading up or balancing on that back leg so that he can direct himself straight toward home plate. A little bit off that, maybe sliding into his delivery just a bit, and that leads to being erratic with your release point. Sometimes the upper part of your body gets out in front a bit. You don't really know where the ball's going to be released from.
To Witt, back-to-back walks to open this 2nd inning. And let's check in with Jim Knox.
Oh, I appreciate it, Dave. Great crowd here at Globe Life Park. We got the McClures family in from Coleman, Texas. And Betty, look at her bucket list, guys. Watch Texas Rangers game. Check that one off, Betty. And Beltre play the hot corner. Way to go. Good to have you here. Anything else you want to add to the bucket list?
Go Rangers!
Hey, that's a good one. That away, Betty. Way to go. Good to have the McClures in from Coleman, Texas. Great crowd tonight. Thanks, Dave.
All right, Noxie. There you go. She's got the right idea, because when you come to this game right now, you come see the Rangers right now. There's plenty to see. There are a lot of heroes, a lot of talented players. But right now, it's a really good time to appreciate the greatness of that man right there and what he is able to do at the hot corner on a nightly basis. First pitch breaking ball to Marcus Semien is ball 1. I feel like oftentimes we don't really appreciate the great ones until
it's
a little too late. And that's been one of the real joys this year. Has been Rangers fans having that opportunity to see one of the greats at that position all time play at such a high level. 2-0 to Semien. Well, Darvish having a little trouble right now with that command. Walked Healy, walked Alonso. And now, look, this Semien, he's batting 7th today, but you can see as much power as any shortstop in the game. You got to respect that, and it's 3-0. Semien, an offensively minded shortstop. The only shortstop in A's franchise history with better power numbers in any given year, Miguel Tejada. He got a handful of those as a 4-pitch walk loads them up here in the 2nd inning. And here comes Doug Brocail. So how hard is it to make that inning adjustment? You're talking about something like balance and, you know, rushing a delivery.
It's pretty difficult to make it during the ball game. I think all your mechanical adjustments are typically done in the bullpen before you ever go on the mound, because once you get on the mound, you have to have one thought in mind. That's, how do I use what I have brought with me tonight to the mound to the best effect? How do I get somebody out? You can't be worrying about how do I throw the ball. If you're at that point, forget it. It's not going to happen. You know, big league hitters are going to feast on a guy that's out there trying to think about how to throw instead of what to throw and where to throw.
Well, now the 8th place hitter, Maxwell, and he sneaks it through. That base hit gets Healy home. Alonso on his heels. The throw goes to third, and it's a 2-run single by Maxwell to put Oakland in front 3-0. The moment there, you thought maybe Elvis could get to that ball. It's just a little beyond his reach. If he gets to that, then you've got the real possibility of a double play.
Yeah, that ball just hit too sharply, and Elvis playing a step toward the hole, I guess, but in it short, and that's going to cut down your lateral range, boy, into double play depth. And it just, you know, the three walks to start out an inning are going to come back and bite you more often than not.
When they do right there on the Maxwell single. Now Brett Eibner, and he'll take that heater for a strike.
No, I'll tell you what, though, as a Ranger pitcher right now, if you're thinking, oh, all is lost tonight, no, you can't. You've seen this ball club come back too often, especially in this ballpark. Now's a great time for you, Darvish, to really bull his neck and find a way out of this inning without any further damage.
Well, we certainly saw that last night. Cole Hamels was not at his sharpest early on, and he fell behind 3-0. Then ended up giving up 3 more runs in the 6th inning, and it looked like a ball game the A's just had under control, but that was not to be the case. Rangers would come back and win it 7-6. 2-strike pitch. Look out. So 2 runs across this inning. Sometimes maybe just move a batter a little bit.
Yeah, Eibner almost walked into that when he was looking outside and almost got plunked because of it.
Well, everything so far in on him. Now the breaking ball away, and it gets him swinging. First out of the inning. Second strikeout tonight for Darvish. And we'll go back to the top of the order.
That's pretty classic, high, tight, low and away. You throw that fastball up and in to straighten up a hitter and come back with a good breaking ball down and away. Not too many guys are going to feast on that combo.
Darvish should have had such a big imposing sight out there on the mound too, and after he comes in upper 90s near your noggin, you're not ready to lean in for another one. 6'5", 220 pounds. Just turned 30 years old a couple weeks ago. This one shot out toward left field. Gomez is there. Simeon tags. He'll score. And it is a 4-0 A's lead on the Wendell sac fly. So all 3 walks indeed cross home plate. That's the bad news. The good news is the inning normalizes a little bit now. You have a man at first, 2 gone. And Darvish has had to work a little in these first 2 innings. Danny Valencia, he lined out back of the first inning, hit that rocket to Beltre at third. Valencia tonight getting the start in right field. They've used him all over the diamond in this second half. That one moves him off the plate. He's been good away from home. The Coliseum out there in Oakland, not a real hitter-friendly ballpark. And to Valencia's credit, he has taken advantage when getting away from home. Shoots this one out to right field. Base hit. Maxwell will turn second, and the A's have him cornered again.
It looked like Danny Valencia, after seeing that pitch up and into him, decided that Darvish was going to go out away with something, and he tried to throw a slider, didn't get quite out far enough. Yeah, Valencia, pretty good hitter, taking the ball the other way. That slider spinning right in the middle of the plate to him. The idea was good, the execution a little bit lacking.
So Valencia at first. Maxwell made it to third, and now Stephen Vogt. Darvish has reined in the tempo a little bit too as he continues to fight himself a little bit in this second inning. Breaking ball this time good for strike one. That's what's been so hard. He just hasn't thrown that strike one pitch too much today. Although it's very early. Had a vote 0-2. Darvish, we mentioned earlier in his career, he's had trouble with the Oakland A's. One of those little oddities. 2 wins, 8 losses, and an earned run average over 4.5 in his career. That's 12 starts against Oakland. But there was a trend in numbers that we had seen turn around this year. 2 starts here, he'd gone 1-0 with a 2.77 ERA. 2-strike pitch, and he gets Vogt looking for his 3rd strikeout of the night. Shaking his head, but he's done with the second. An inning and a half in, it's 4-0 Oakland. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by the all-new 3-row Mazda CX-9, meticulously crafted for driving, because driving matters. 4-0 Oakland. You go to the bottom of the second inning. Rougned Odor will start things off for the Rangers. Raul Alcantara, he was pretty good there in that first inning. Struck out the side. Rookie making just his 3rd big league start, and he pumps one in to Rougned. 31 home runs this year for Odor. Unfazed by that one. Right up across the chest.
You're not going to see Rougned get too upset about that. He's not going to react to it. Let's put it that way. Other than dig in further.
1-1. And he'll hit it hard, but down to first, and Alonso will take care of it. 1 away.
Adding 6, the catcher, number 25.
Yonder Alonso getting the start at first base tonight for Oakland, and they had some high hopes for him there. But as things have turned sour these last couple of years, especially this season, Bob Melvin has decided to go with the younger kids by and large. Somewhat rare start lately at first base for Yonder Alonso. Now here's Jonathan Lucroy. And he takes strike 1. Now the game winner last night, 23 home runs. And the RBIs, most among catchers in the big leagues this year. And a whole 0-2 though. You see a good breaking ball from Alcantara. Lucroy is subtly, perhaps as he could, registered his displeasure with that call, but as you can see by Fox Tracks, it was borderline. So this rookie, his first big league start, Buzz, you mentioned it, his first one was not a good one, and it was a really bad start. That first start, his first inning, he hit 3 batters.
Yeah.
Hit Trout, and then the next pitch came up and in to his fellow countryman Albert Pujols, and Pujols, I guess, as the story has been retold, put on quite a little show, like, whoa, what do you, be careful throwing at me like that, pal. And it kind of unnerved him. He ended up hitting 2 more batters, and then it just did the day got away from him.
Yeah, earlier that inning, he'd given up a home run to Calhoun, too. So.
Other than that, a memorable.
A lot of fun for him.
Man. So we mentioned Lucroy had that game winner last night. Walk-off hits by a catcher. The come from behind type. Yeah, Pudge, 1998 against the Royals, and Mike Stanley going back to 1987 against the Brewers. A breaking ball poked out to right field. But Danny Valencia right there for it. 2 away.
And 7, the first baseman, number 18, Mitch Moreland.
And we'll bring up Mitch Moreland. Well, the question was posed to Jeff Bannister today, facing a guy for the first time. And whatever team you're a fan of, whatever team has ever faced a pitcher for the first time, everyone said the same thing. Oh boy, we don't do well against guys we've never seen before. Everybody has that same. It's not even so much a superstition. It's just it's a feeling people get a lot. And so the question was posed to Bannister today, and he said, "Yeah, I think we have a plan with him, though. Be patient." Mention the fact that he's got some command issues. Force him into the zone. And sometimes it'll take a trip to the order to get to that point. This one lifted deep to left field, but Davis with room, and it's another scoreless inning for Alcantara. And we've played 2 tonight here at Globe Life Park. 4-0 Oakland. Ballpark app is the official app of Globe Life Park in Arlington. And now you can purchase tickets directly through the Ballpark app with just a few easy clicks. Plus, you can get $10 tickets for the game on Monday, September 19th against the Angels. Download the MLB.com Ballpark app today and take advantage of this great deal. Moving along to the third inning, 4-0 Oakland, and Darvish back out of this third inning to see if he can right the ship a little bit. And he will deal with the very heart of this Oakland order, Chris Davis, who struck out in the first, but is a very dangerous, productive hitter, fourth in the American League with 38 home runs. His 96 RBIs, 10th best in the American League. And it's 2-1.
I think Yu is still getting caught in between about what are his two best pitches to work with tonight, and he's still searching for that. And sometimes you can make that determination in the first inning, and it holds up all throughout the ball game. Sometimes you search for it, and the A's have made him pay early, and you get down, and you still don't know what was working for you after you leave the ball game. Those games are very few and far between, but it looks like Yu is still struggling to find the good rhythm and timing for a couple pitches.
Well, he got strike one on Davis, but now has missed with 3 straight. And he gets Davis to offer, but it sneaks through for a base hit. And the lead man on for Oakland in the third. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with Rick Renner. Boy, it is. Thanks, Rick. And it has just been a kind of a tumultuous month and a half now for Cleveland.
Been a certainly a bad last couple of days. Yan Gomes out for the foreseeable future, and now Carrasco, and those are two pretty important guys. The guy that they really relied on as their #1 catcher and primary offensive threat in the middle of that order, and then Carrasco, the guy they could go to and have a pretty good idea what he was going to give him with the sinker ball.
1 strike pitch to Ryan Healy, and they'll make the count 0-2.
Michael Brantley out. They thought they would have him back and productive at least the second half of the season, if not before, and he's not going to be available to him. So it has been tough for Terry Francona's club.
Danny Salazar recently.
Danny Salazar, yeah.
They've it has been really, you would almost say it's been one of those years, except that they have the second best record in the league. So they've managed to work around a lot of trouble to this point, but it's really starting to pile up for them. 1-2 the count now to Ryan Healy, and he's the man who opened the second inning with a walk. The first of 3 consecutive walks. Look at those numbers right there. Almost 10 runs per game in their last 5. 2-2 now.
Yeah, this is the team that's last in scoring in the American League. It's hard to figure sometimes. So much the luck of the draw about not how good you are, but how good the team is that you're playing compared to what they are overall. If they're a hot team, they can play with anybody. Bob Elman's club certainly proved that in Kansas City, sweeping 4 from the Royals and outscoring them by 31.
2-2 to Healy, got him looking. Breaking ball, and Healy, 4th strikeout victim tonight for Yu Darvish. Yeah, the A's were coming off a real bad homestand too.
Breaking ball, not exactly where Darvish would have preferred it to be, but it was enough up and in starting off that it made Healy back off and he couldn't pull the trigger. But if you were designing where to throw a breaking ball, it would not be in the middle of the plate and up.
Now going after Yonder Alonso. Trying to backdoor him. Alonso walked in the second inning and scored a run. They got one in the first on the Joey Wendell homer, and then 3 consecutive walks, all turned into runs in the second inning.
Alonso, a pretty good candidate for a double play if you can get him to swing at a pitch away from him, like out in there. He'll hit some ground balls, and he does not run very well. So once he gets the ball on the ground, if an infielder can catch it, you have a real good chance of getting 2.
You look at the defense too, and that's always kind of the trick in these spots, because you want to keep yourself in that situation where you could turn that double play. You also want to play the tendencies of Alonso, which would be to pull. Did he go? And Jeff Kellogg said he did not. There you go. 15 double plays this year.
Yeah, and all you can do is shift toward where the guy usually hits the ball the hardest. You know, if it's a pull hitter and he pulls the ball hard, that's where you would shift over. And Alonso, according to that shift, pulls the ball more sharply than he hits it up the middle or the other way.
2-2. Well, he's now to the point where they use him almost as a platoon left-handed hitter against the righties. Still means you get the preponderance of starts in a season. But there's been some disappointment in Oakland over the production of Yonder Alonso. Various times in his career, really highly regarded. It's a full count.
You get an idea of the spray chart. Balls to right field 49. Center field, most of the hits, but I would imagine most of those balls hit to center field have been line drive fly ball type thing. The harder ground balls are pulled to the right side. But not many balls hit the other way with authority.
Right. This one toward the middle of the diamond. Hang it up. As Gomez will come over from left. 2 gone. Davis can't advance. And it'll bring up Marcus Semien. Well, Darvish hoping for his first scoreless half inning.
Shortstop Marcus Semien.
And that would be a good first step. We're talking about his numbers in those previous 2 starts against Oakland this year, and one of the things that stood out was 1 walk against 15 strikeouts.
Yep. Yeah, this is the blip on the radar tonight. We have not seen Yu Darvish have command problems that he's having here. And again, I think it goes back to him trying to find the 1 or 2 pitches that he can be comfortable with tonight, and Jonathan Lucroy is trying to lead him through that. They're experimenting with all kinds of different scenarios. I'm sure between innings they're sitting on the bench talking about what do you see and what do you feel and where can we go from here.
Well, bouncer, and that one rolls through as well. Base hit for Semien. He's have a couple base runners on in this 3rd inning. And that's the 5th hit for Oakland. So they've been patient, and they've also been able to find the holes. Now this guy, Bruce Maxwell, he's the guy who delivered the big hit last inning. Came up with the bases loaded, nobody out. Shot one into center field to score a couple of runs.
Yeah, he was the one that time came up after the visit to the mound and picked on the first pitch. He was looking fastball all the way. He got one down and out over the plate and hit it pretty sharply, a ground ball up the middle. But he was kind of shooting for one that Darvish was trying to get ahead with.
Another meeting out there, Brocale and Lucroy. Now, you mentioned that is a situation where Doug has spotted something. That's kind of an interesting spot to come
Well, I'm not sure he really liked that first pitch breaking ball that was so far out of the zone. You know, he might have seen something mechanically that he and Darvish had talked about, or he might have just said, hey, look, by you throwing that pitch, you're telling me you don't have confidence in anything else. So let's get back to being confident. Let's focus on what you're doing well right now. And the slow curveball on the first pitch is not what he's doing well. You know, let's get back to see if we can make a good quality pitch, get this guy out and get back to the bench.
2-0 on Maxwell. He's got a 6-game hitting streak. And you see, they have cashed him in lately. You mentioned it was 43 runs in that 4-game series against the defending world champions. And then they come in to face the team with the best record in the American League. He scored 6 yesterday in a loss. Had 4 already tonight. It's that high-powered West Coast offense Bob Melvin has gone to.
It's the young offense that he's gone to.
And those young guys have brought some energy.
Yep.
They've enjoyed it. Here's a good fastball. So 2-2 on Maxwell. Well, he got off to a real slow start when he joined the club, but he's turned it around a little bit. The 2-2 pitch, and he got him on a breaking ball. Second strikeout in the inning for Darvish. 5 so far tonight. And more importantly, his first scoreless half inning of the evening. And the first 15,000 fans to the ballpark on October 1st will receive the Colby Lewis bobblehead, courtesy of Kroger. So come support your Rangers. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. We can't possibly be talking about the final Saturday home game of the season.
Yeah, week from 2 weeks from today.
My goodness.
Regular season.
Good point. Nomar Mazara. His first look. Nomar hitting .273. He's got multiple hits in his last 2 games, so getting them in bunches. And in fact, yesterday he had singles his first 2 times up and then was taken out of the ball game.
Yeah, that's what you get for going 2 for 2.
You see it 4 for 6 with a bomb. So feeling pretty good right now. It'll be Mazara, then Elvis Andrus, and back to the top for Carlos Gomez. 4-0 Oakland. Interesting. You mentioned last inning how the strategy Jeff Bannister wanted to employ against Alcantara was, be patient, make him work back into the strike zone, take advantage if he's going to be erratic. But he's thrown strikes and gotten outs. And on the flip side of that, it's been Oakland being very patient tonight and managing to work the count against Yu Darvish to the tune of a 4-0 early advantage here tonight.
Yeah, sometimes the best laid plans do not work out the way that you anticipated.
This ball hit well to center field. Eibner, though, has it measured. And that is the first out of the third inning.
Batting ninth, the shortstop, number 1, Elvis Andrus.
So now Elvis with hits in 3 straight, 5 for 11 in this little 3-game hitting streak. But really, you go back further. Last 78 games, that's a long stretch. Elvis is hitting .312. What an incredible year it has been for Andrus. Played a great shortstop. He's run the bases well once again, as he always does, among the best in the American League. And has a very legitimate shot to finish the year at 300 or better. In a hole here, though, 0-2. Coors Light cold hard facts. 6 players hitting .280 or better. Only team in the big leagues. And Elvis, one of them. Did he go? No. Beltre. Lucroy's having the big year. Desmond checked in at .286 today. 6 players at .280 or better. Well, that one just missed. It speaks to the balance of this offense. You get all those comeback wins and those late inning rallies, and the reality is it doesn't matter where you are in the lineup, it seems. Yeah. They're able to get it going.
Yeah. You're only a couple of pitches away from danger, no matter where you are.
2-2. And that one popped up. Should be handled. It will be handled by Alonso. And that is 6 in a row retired by Alcantara. And now Rangers will get their second look at the rookie.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kinds of at-bats Rangers hitters have. And not everyone this second time through has been markedly different. But I think you'll see some subtle differences in how early guys swing in the count, and also what Alcantara is doing to them. First time up, it's been a pretty good fastball changeup mix. Getting ahead with the fastball, throwing the changeup one ahead. He might go backwards on that a couple of times.
Big right-hander, and misses with ball 1 to Gomez. Now he struck out Gomez. In fact, he struck out Gomez, Desmond, and Beltre in the first. Rangers with just 1 base runner, 1 hit that first time through the order. Beltran with the single to right field. That's 1-1 on Gomez. You can see he has been a very hot hitter as well. He had a real fine game last night. I just thought some of those at bats, it was the RBI ground out in the 5th inning where he gave himself up, make sure he got home a run, and then that 7th inning homer, that leadoff home run, really kind of sparked the team, maybe energized his crowd a tad in the late innings.
Yeah, and Carlos can do that. Carlos is a high energy player, and when he does something well, his energy is off the charts, and it carries over. Guys catch that on the bench.
It's this ball hard to center, but hanging up for Eibner, and it's a 1-2-3 inning once again. We'll go to the 4th, 4-0 Oakland. Now let's go to Aaron Hardigan in our Rooms to Go lounge.
a very special night here at Globe Life Park in Arlington, as it is Law Enforcement Appreciation Night, and especially paying tribute to those who were affected by the July 7th shooting in Dallas that hit obviously very close to us here at home in North Texas. And we are pleased to be joined now as we welcome you back to Globe Life Park in Arlington by one of the officers involved in that shooting that day. And I know that, John Abbott, this is not an easy time for you, but what is it like to get away maybe just for a little bit and to be alongside your fellow law enforcement agencies?
It's great to be outside and enjoying ourselves. I've been cooped up at home for a while now, recovering, so it's nice to get out and be with everybody.
It seems like we hear about, situations happening everywhere else, and on July 7th that all changed for us. It had to change for you, change perspective on your job, change perspective on your life. How has it impacted you since then?
It's just brought us closer together, made my team at El Centro tighter, my wife and I tighter together, appreciate each other more.
Also, too, it's changed those around you. It's changed those of us in the community. What's been the response that you've seen, not just nights like tonight, but just overall?
Overall, most people are more appreciative of what we do and understanding of the difficulties of the job that we have to perform.
You guys are part of this Rangers family. I know that you hold this organization dear to your heart. To see the way that they paid tribute, on this night, what was that like for you to see all your guys out there on the field?
It was very overwhelming to see all of this and to understand how much they do appreciate us. And in our job, we don't always get this, so it's very, very heartfelt to get it.
I hope that you guys enjoy the evening. We want to thank you so much for the work that you do and hope that you have a great time here tonight.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
John Abbott, thank you so very much. We'll send it back up to you, Buzz.
All right, great job, Emily, and it was a really moving ceremony today before the ball game, and just a terrific gesture, and great to have everybody out here tonight and enjoying an evening, just relaxing. Darvish, meanwhile, with a strikeout of Eibner to get things going here at the top of the fourth inning, and now Joey Wendell, who hit that home run in the first inning, kind of set the tone for the night. Then the sac fly in the second. This time a two-hopper for Rougned Odor, and just like that, two gone in the fourth inning.
Now, if you could go ahead and finish off this inning very quickly, that's really going to be a plus for him, a plus for the ball club. You might see a change of momentum in this club. If he, for example, if he gets the out in Valencia very quickly and gets in after a 7 or 8 pitch inning, he's going to feel good about things. You know the guys on the bench are going to feel good, and you have the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up for the Rangers. So about time for things to start turning over just a little bit. Get Mo going down the track the right way.
Well, and it starts it with a breaking ball to Valencia for strike one. Well, he started last inning. He worked around a couple of hits, but put up his first goose egg of the night. Now, a chance for a real quick, clean inning. And he ties up Valencia to count 0-2.
A pretty good breaking ball now. Darvish has been able to go to that medium speed curveball, not the slow lollipop drop, but the one that he's able to command pretty well.
Here comes a 2-strike offering. Got him swinging. And it's a 1-2-3 for Darvish with a couple of strikeouts. Let's see if that momentum heads to the Rangers side. Ian Desmond will lead it off in the bottom of the fourth. Fans, help us rent out the ballpark September 26th through 28th. When you buy a ticket at TexasRangers.com/specials, use the online code ThankYouFans. You'll get $13 tickets for those 3 games and a complimentary soda, water, or beer. Go to TexasRangers.com/specials today. Bottom of the 4th inning, Ian Desmond, Carlos Beltran, and then Adrian Beltre. Oakland with a 4-0 lead. Darvish kind of sharpening up as we get into these middle innings. Now we'll see if the offense can get something going against the rookie right-hander from Oakland. Be good to see Desmond get it going offensively. 0 for 1 tonight. Pops this one up into shallow right field. Valencia in several steps, and that is out number 1. Alcantara has looked pretty good. Just 1 hit so far, 1 over the minimum. Guy they feel has a lot of long-term promise in Oakland. Carlos Beltran, he has the only hit, been the only Rangers base runner so far tonight. And pops this one foul. And just out of play.
Pretty nice catch by that young man down there. No glove and still handled it flawlessly. Oh, he's got a Michael Young shirt on, that's why. Great hands come with that shirt.
That's terrific. And now he'll have a story for the rest of his life. 1-1 on Beltran. Alcantara originally signed by the Red Sox organization back in 2009 out of the Dominican. Spent a couple of years in their farm system, but then came to the A's along with Josh Reddick. That was in the Andy Bailey, Ryan Sweeney deal. One pulled foul, 2-2 on Beltran. So that trade took place 2011. Alcantara had Tommy John surgery in May of 2014. Fundamentally missed that season. Came back last year, pitched well. This year, well enough in the minor leagues to get the call up, and now making his 3rd big league start, his 2-2 pitch. And this one off the handle into shallow right field, where Wendell goes out from second base to make the play.
Third baseman, Adrian Beltre.
Take a look at our Ford leaderboard. Boy, Buzz, they've taken your black and white photography one step further.
Yeah.
Jake Beckley, that's a nice sketch. Take a look at the all-time hit leaders in Beltre. Just 2 back of the great Rogers Hornsby. Struck out in the 1st inning.
Jake Beckley, made famous by Field of Dreams. I'm sure I saw him in there.
He might
coming out of that cornfield.
Yeah. 0-2 the count now on Beltre. Jake Beckley. He hasn't come up on a lot of our Ford leaderboard lists lately. A little high, and Adrian held off. Ball and 2 strikes. Adrian, all the career numbers, of course, continue to pile up, but right now he is on a real hot streak. Ouch. You foul him off your foot sometimes, off your ankle.
And all Adrian does is smack the sole of his shoe with that bat. My foot hurts bad enough, and the rest of it won't hurt.
A ball and 2 strikes. And the big right-hander. It's Beltre to chase one upstairs. Play will pop up for Healy, and another 1-2-3 for Alcantara. And we'll go to the 5th inning tonight. 4-0 Oakland. Your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today for incredible deals. See why Ford is the best in Texas. Well, it has been a lovely day and a really comfy night here tonight at Globe Life Park. Another great crowd. But the night has been owned thus far by the Oakland A's. 4-0 the score, and they're 3, 4, and 5 hitters due in this 5th inning against Darvish. Vogt 0 for 2 so far. Darvish goes right after him with the fastball. Vogt has been on the American League All-Star team the last 2 years. Last year kind of a breakthrough year for him with 18 home runs, 71 RBIs. Through a little tough stretch, particularly back on that homestand. It's an 0 for 18 slide, but has regained some of his old form here lately. 10 for his last 26 coming into tonight. Darvish had the perfect 4th inning and strikes out Vogt to start the 5th. He seems to have settled in just a little bit.
Yeah, that may be as good a sequence of 5 pitches that I've seen Darvish throw tonight. He looked like he was in control of himself. Release point was the same each pitch, and was able to get that breaking ball down and in, the back foot breaking ball to Vogt. But he'd gotten ahead away from him, and that was the key to that at bat for him, I believe. And that's retiring, 5 straight and 7 out of 8 for Darvish. So hopefully settling in. He's at 72 pitches, and that's certainly manageable as he works in the 5th inning.
Chris Davis 1 for 2 in tonight's game. Big numbers overall this year. 8 of those 38 home runs have come at the expense of the Rangers, including a home run last night in the 4th inning. He goes after that curveball. It's 1-1. You see 8 strikeouts and 4 1/3 so far tonight. A big right-hander, and it's 2-1. Long-time National League player, 7 years in the Brewers system. Big offensive year last year for Chris Davis. Well, this year his first circuit through the American League, and he has proven to be every bit as good. Goes after this one and lifts it high in the air. Won't carry for him. Out there to the power alley is Mazzara. Makes the play, and there are 2 gone.
Well, this is not exactly the same Yu Darvish we saw last time out against the Angels, but maybe he's turning it around, flipping it upside down. He worked 6 scoreless against Anaheim, out in Anaheim, before giving up a run in the 7th inning. Maybe he got his bad stuff out of the way early, and he's going to finish this off with 5 or 6 scoreless.
He's retired 6 straight hitters, 8 of the last 9 now, and that run began with this guy, Ryan Healy, striking out looking. And that was a strikeout, Buzz. You remember it was the breaking ball that was a little up, right?
Yeah.
And
kind of locked him up. Started out, Healy had to think it was starting out at his shoulder and then got the upper part of the strike zone. And you can do that every once in a while. You know, every once in a while you get away with one that does that, and a hitter's caught by surprise, can't pull the trigger.
Lines this one right by short. So Healy is on with a 2-out hit, his first of the night.
Young man's a pretty good hitter. Been impressed the times that we have seen him against the Rangers. He has swung the bat extremely well. Looked like either a cutter or a slider that stayed in the middle of the plate. And Healy able to go down and drive it sharply.
Well, that gives him now an 8-game hitting streak. The A's very pleased with what they have seen from Ryan Healy. The rookie has been very impressive, particularly at the plate. He's played a nice third base. Now Yonder Alonso.
Well, the hot zones for Healy, middle of the plate, down and in, and anywhere in that 4 rectangle area, pretty healthy batting average. And that's not a bad place to be healthy in. He's not going to miss a whole lot of pitches down there.
Oh, he hasn't in this series.
Yeah. And the A's are getting a good long look at him. I think they like what they've seen. He's displaced Danny Valencia over at third base ever since the All-Star break, and A's are going to get a 3-month look at him, and I think they've got something pretty special.
2-0 pitch. It's tight. Now they'll have an interesting situation. Their top prospect, a guy who had a really big year down in their minor league system, Matt Chapman, very highly regarded third baseman. But you got a guy doing it right now at the big league level in the form of Healy, and that's hard to overlook. That one just missed, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Yonder Alonso.
Shortstop Marcus Semien.
So a couple of base runners now for Semien, who has walked and singled. Darvish, just as it looked like he might be getting back into that groove, he's now put a couple of men on. It's just an out, though, to get through this 5th inning.
Yeah, they need to remember what Semien had done last time up. He had grounded a harmless single through the right side, but made a concerted effort to hit the ball that way. The Rangers have gotten Mitch Moreland more off the line to cover up part of that hole. But you don't want to give Semien, since he showed the inclination to do that, anything a slider speed away from him, where it's a lot easier to take the ball the other way. If you're going to throw something out there, throw something with a little bit of giddy up on it.
Well, they set up away the 1-0, and there's that fastball. The one actually came over the middle of the plate.
Yeah, 4 walks tonight, 4 combined walks his last 2 ball games. Not a typical Yu Darvish night, but everybody has evenings like this. And to use credit, he has battled back from that 3 consecutive walk, 3-run 2nd inning, and has not given the A's anything since then.
1-1 to Semien. That ball hit well left field. Gomez with the cursory look That one is gone. 3-run shot for Simeon. And that'll be a tough pill to swallow. 7-0 Oakland. So with 2 outs, it was the base hit to Healy, the walk to Alonso, and then for Simeon, his 26th home run of the year.
Yeah, he has put a charge in a few of them this year. Obviously, 26 home runs now. And, he went from taking one pitch the other way last time up to getting a pitch inside and just drilling it. He did not miss this. That pitch was supposed to be away. It looked like a cut fastball that kind of backed up on him. And Simeon, his eyes had to light up when he saw that one coming.
And he knew it. And that's a big boy home run. Marcus Simeon has had another real good offensive year. And Darvish, for the 3rd time, has had a visit from Doug Brocail. So one of those nights. Mama said there would be days like these, and it's one of those for Darvish. Breaking ball lifted into shallow center, and Desmond able to get there. So it ends the inning, but not before Simeon hits the 3-run blast, and we're halfway to the house tonight. But Oakland with a 7-0 lead. This season. Next one coming up Wednesday. Angels in town to play the Rangers. Coming out to the ballpark early. Enjoy all the hot dogs you can eat for just $1 each. Get your tickets today, TexasRangers.com, or by calling 972-RANGERS. Bottom of the 5th. Oakland with the 7-0 lead. It'll be Odor and Jonathan Lucroy to start this inning. Odor rolled out to first in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1 tonight. Very much 2 competing storylines tonight, as this one rolled into center, a base hit for Odor. Rangers had their 2nd base runner of the night. The one story, of course, Darvish struggles to this point and allowing 7 runs. The other story, though, has been the performance of Raul Alcantara. This guy's been pretty good today.
Yeah, he has been good. He has been good. Rangers have not been able to do much against him yet, and Odor starting off the 2nd inning, or this inning, with the 2nd time through, as far as he's concerned. He gets that leadoff base hit. Rangers need to string a few together that get get some of that optimism going in the Ranger dugout.
Well, there's Lucroy. TXU Energy, our player to watch, Jonathan Lucroy. He's been almost unstoppable here at home lately. Safely an 8 of 9. Last night delivered the game winner. Bottom of the 9th inning. Off the hands and a flare caught by Simeon for out number 1. With that, we will take a Chevy game break. Check in again with Rick Renner. All right, thanks, Rick. And Yankees came in 4 back in the wild card race, so they might be running out of time. Mitch Moreland, 0 for 1. Take a look at the East Division, and the Yankees pretty much out of that conversation. And Boston building a little cushion. But 4 of those 5 teams very much in the postseason conversation. It was a terrific division race in the American League East. Right now, the 2 wild card spots in the American League are being controlled by Baltimore and Toronto. Detroit with a tough 1-0 loss today. That does not help them. They came in 3 back in the wild card. Seattle and Houston playing tonight out of the West Coast. And then the Yankees now 77-71, and they're
right on the bubble, as they say.
And when you consider the number of teams ahead of them in the wild card, it gets really difficult to imagine. Remarkable, really, that we're talking about them at this point of the season, given what they traded away.
Yeah.
2-1 to Moreland. That one's sent into left field. But Davis able to track it down. 2 gone. Now there's your wild card standings. Seattle, a legit shot, particularly given that they're going to host Toronto this next week. So they'll have a chance to control a little bit of their own destiny.
Yeah, you're right about Detroit, though. That loss today really stung the Tigers.
I don't know exactly what their record is with Cleveland. It's like, I think Cleveland's won 12 of 13 head-to-head, including the 1-0 win today. And that has far and away been the difference in that division. Not unlike what the Rangers have done to the Astros this year.
Yep.
The other thing in that ball game today with the Indians and the Tigers, I guess Cleveland set a major league record in a 1-0 shutout. They used 10 pitchers. 10 pitchers. How do you do that? Cleveland 13-1 against the Tigers. So correct myself on that one, but point still pretty much the same. They have dominated their closest opponent. Now Mazzara in a hole 1 and 2 now. He flied out in the 3rd inning. Rangers have had just 2 base runners tonight. Nobody as far as second base yet against Raul Alcantara. Big right-handed pitcher, 6'4", 220. Just 23 years old out of the Dominican. Mazzara fights him off with that pop-up should end the inning. Healy waits for it and handles it. And after the leadoff single, nothing doing for the Rangers. Off to the 6th inning tonight, 7-0 Oakland.
Big town of Fort Hood, Texas on hand. Plenty of great soldiers here at the Globe Life Park this season, you bet. Specialist Martin, this is part of Operation 35. Cole Hamels treating you guys to a game. You guys got to be down on the field before the game and met the Rangers pitcher. What was his message to you guys?
He was just full of respect, lots of appreciation for what we do. He has a great program going, and we're having a blast.
There we go. Having a great time. Continue the great work, guys. Appreciate you being on hand, and good luck, and go Rangers. We'll see you soon, all right? Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, go, Dave.
All right, thanks, Noxie. And now to the 6th inning, Yoander Mendez, the left-hander, on for Yu Darvish. He gets a pop-up on the first pitch to Brett Eibner. One gone.
Yoander making his second big league appearance. He made his major league debut back on the 5th of the month up in Seattle. It didn't go well. He gave up 5 runs on 4 hits and a walk. But back out there again, see if he can get the numbers down a little bit toward respectability. Quite a young man, though. He went 3 stops in the minor league system for the Rangers this year. He went 12-3 combined with a 2.19 ERA. Started out in A-ball, went to Double-A, and finished up at Triple-A Round Rock. At Round Rock, he went 4-1 with an 0.57 earned run average. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, in that league, it's a tough place to pitch. You put a sub-3 ERA or sub-4 ERA in the PCL, you've done something.
Yep.
Sub-1, look out. 1-1 to Joey Wendell. Buzzes his tower a little bit there. You know, under 6'5", 200 pounds. He's just 21 years old. Young Venezuelan, and a starter. He's got that really electric arm. That fastball's 92. It looks like it gets there in a hurry, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sneaky fast.
3-1. And it's a full count now on Wendell, who's had another nice night at the plate. So Yoander Mendez in for Darvish. Darvish fought his way through 5 innings. Gave up 7 runs on 7 hits. Walked 4, struck out 8. Now the payoff pitch. And that ball hit well out to right field. But back on it is Mazara. 2 away. Now switching gears a little bit, Buzz, I thought one of the things last night, and I don't know that we got into it a whole lot yesterday, but when you think about that comeback last night for the Rangers. Hamels went 6 innings. They were trailing all night. The only time the Rangers led was at the last pitch of the evening. This ball hit out to right field, and again, Mazara is there. And it's such a good point. We'll just have to wait till the next inning to complete it. It's a 1-2-3 for Mendez to go to the bottom of the 6th, 7-0 Oakland. Sonic Slam inning brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot worth $500 and dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. If a Ranger hits a homer this inning, Barbara Carlin of Louisville will win $500. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam, Barbara takes home $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. So we'll see what the Rangers can come up with. Andrews starting off this 6th inning, then Carlos Gomez and Ian Desmond. Alcantara has been awfully tough tonight, though, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, and we talked about it at the beginning of this second time through the order, which for Alcantara was in the 3rd inning. He has changed up one little thing, and that's he's thrown that slow curveball in the first pitch to 4 hitters out of the now 9 hitters that he's faced. So just adding something a little bit different. He hasn't changed after that. Still primarily fastball changeup, but just the idea of dropping that slow breaking ball somewhere near the strike zone on the first pitch has put a little extra thought in Rangers hitters' minds.
Well, it's 2-1 to Andrews. Is lined into left field, and that one drops in. Base hit, 3rd hit of the night for Texas.
Second straight inning now, the Rangers have got a leadoff base hit. Difference is this time they go back to the top of the order, so now you got to set up a little bit. If you're going to make a run, this would probably be your best shot at it so far.
So that goes back to the point I was starting to make last inning, which is the Rangers were trailing all night last night, and yet starting in the 7th inning when Jeff Bannister went to the bullpen, Keone Kela, Matt Bush, and Sam Dyson, which is what you do when you're leading by several runs in the late innings. And it's as if he anticipated or was planning to come back. There's a big swing by Gomez. Gone! Like a flash of lightning. That one out into left field, and it's a 7-2 ball game. Like Gomez homered yesterday in the 7th inning. 2-run shot today. He's got 6 home runs as a Ranger already. He's earning money for the fans. Barbara Carlin, $500. Congratulations.
Yeah, kind of like last night. The Rangers were looking for some kind of spark. Now, last night when Carlos had homered, they had already scored in 2 innings. but and they were looking to get closer. Gomez home run got him to within a run. Tonight, it gets the energy flowing. They had not had a whole lot of energy against Alcantara tonight. He has thrown very well, but made a mistake here on the cutter or slider, whichever he calls it. And Carlos Gomez did not miss it.
Now, the comebacker stopped behind the bag at second by Wendell, and they get Desmond. First out of the inning.
Designated hitter, Carlos Beltran.
95.2 on the speed off the bat. Gomez now, that is his 6th home run in a Ranger uniform in 22 ball games. He had a total of 5 in 85 games with the Astros beforehand.
Yeah, he really seems to have fit in. I mean, the role, however you want to define that, has really worked well for him here.
Yeah, and he's in a situation, I think, Dave, that really lends itself to him being comfortable, and that's having some veterans on the team that he looks up to. First of all, with you get Carlos Beltran, who was with him in New York, and kind of took him under his wing. The two Carloses became very close, and you got Adrian Beltre, so it's a much more established veteran leadership here. Whereas in Houston, I think that some of the players looked up to Carlos to provide that leadership for him, and I'm not sure he is at a stage in his career where he was totally comfortable doing that down there. And you start applying pressure to yourself and doing things out of character, and that very rarely works out well.
He's a real outgoing, energetic guy, and we talk about him being sensitive sometimes too. That didn't work well for him in Houston either. Beltran, the count 3-1. Let's check in with Emily Jones.
You guys were talking about Carlos Gomez, and I know, Buzz, you're a huge player on social media, so you probably saw this, but on Carlos Gomez's Instagram account on the off day on Thursday, there was about a 30-second video of Carlos, Rougned Odor, and Martin Perez. Carlos wearing a cowboy hat. They were in Costco shopping for meat to eat or to cook. They were having a cookout on the off day, making fun of Rougned Odor and his premature balding. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and shows that he was having a good time and fitting in quite nicely with his new teammates, able to poke some fun at Rugi and rock the cowboy hat and hit Costco.
You didn't see my comment on that?
I did. I did, Buzz.
Yeah,
You were like the first. You were the first one to comment.
First or second, but I was asking them what kind of meat they were looking for. You kind of steer them in the right direction.
It's worth searching for if you are so inclined to look up Carlos Gomez's Instagram account.
Okay.
And check out that video at Costco.
I've got that written down somewhere. I'll check it out.
Well, full count now on Beltran. And he'll shoot this one into left field, base hit. Third hit of the inning against Alcantara. The Rangers seem to have a little better idea what's going on right now.
If you ever wondered what the definition of a professional hitter was, you look it up in Carlos Beltran's pictures there, because this is as professional as you're going to get it. Goes 3-2. Rangers need base runners. He has tried to pull a couple of pitches with no luck. Fine, I'll just take the ball, take it the other way. And not only is that a great idea, but you have to have the ability to go along with it, and he has the whole package. Now, he shot a ball to right field his first time up for a base hit. Now he squirts one the other way for a base hit. Just whatever you need to do, he can do it for you.
Well, they gave him that room along that third base line, and well, you do love to see guys take advantage of those little windows that opposing teams offer. 1-0 to Beltre, and it is 2-0. And there's the bullpen getting ready. John Axford ostensibly loose and prepared to come in if needed.
And you really like to see guys taking advantage, Dave, in situations like this. Knowing what the situation of the ball game requires. And for the Rangers, that's base runners. And Carlos Beltran knows that. If he gets a pitch to hit out of the ballpark, that's fine. But
speaking of,
there's Adrian that can bring rain with that.
That one, a towering blast, and finally comes down to Chris Davis. Beltran tags, though, and scampers to second. Well played. So moves up on the deep fly ball.
That is as solid a contact as you'll ever see and have the ball stay in the ballpark. Adrian hit that ball right in the middle of the barrel. Man. That's one of those ones that when he made contact, there was no vibration at all. Didn't even know that he'd hit the ball hard. And he looks up, the ball jumping out there. Unfortunately, it was 500 feet high and 380 feet deep.
And I think with the other swings we've seen this inning, that one perhaps the most frightening for Bob Melvin. He's decided enough. Yeah, that'll be it for the rookie who did a really fine job. We get into the Oakland A's bullpen. John Axford coming on. We'll be back in a moment. October 4th. Go to MLB.com/postseason for a full schedule. And it is right around the corner. Meanwhile, here, a 5-run game, but the Rangers have mounted a comeback, knocked Alcantara out of the ball game, and John Axford is on out of that Oakland pen.
Well, Axford, a very seasoned veteran relief pitcher, 33-year-old, and he at one point was the National League Roll Age Relief Man of the Year. That was back in 2011 with Milwaukee. Numbers for in this year, 63 appearances. Now again, a workhorse out of the A's bullpen, 6-4, a .268 opponent's batting average for Axford.
He had some great years in Milwaukee. In a spot here with Beltran out there in scoring position. 1-1 now, the count on Rougned Odor.
And he still has that plus fastball, as you can see, especially when he elevates it. And Rougned getting the reputation around Major League Baseball now of liking to go after that high fastball. And the times that he has had a lot of success lately, he's been able to decide not to swing at that.
Two gone in the 6th inning. Sort of with that long pause at the stretch, and the count 2-1. He was traded from Milwaukee to St. Louis in the division in 2013, right at the trade deadline. Since then, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Colorado. Now this year with the Oakland A's. A lot of hot spots there for Rougned Odor.
A lot of red on that chart against the fastball. If there was one more row of rectangles up above that top row, that'd be where it'd be cold. Turn them blue.
The 2-1. And that was one of the spots right where that last pitch came. Low and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A 2-run homer this inning by Carlos Gomez has gotten the Rangers on the board.
Rangers now with home runs in 18 consecutive ball games, 3rd longest streak in club history.
Two balls, 2 strikes. And that strikeout will end the inning. Rangers will leave a man in scoring position, but they break through tonight. And as we go to the 7th inning, Carlos Gomez finally gets his offense started to 7-2 ball game. Wendell started the game with that leadoff home run. Set the tone, and a tough day for Darvish. Walked the bases loaded, and Bruce Maxwell played it 2 with that base hit in the 2nd. Wouldn't be done. Marcus Semien in the 5th inning, a 3-run homer deep to left. A lot of offense early from Oakland. Jumped out 7-0. Rangers have climbed back with a couple on the Carlos Gomez home run. Now in the 7th inning, 5-run game. Yohander Mendez was awfully good in the 6th inning. He gets ahead of Stephen Vogt, 0-2 here to start the 7th. It'll be Vogt, Chris Davis, and Ryan Healy. Mendez a little bit in, 1-2 the count. Kind of an interesting guy, Yohander, and how he might be able to contribute not just down the stretch, but potentially in the postseason for the Rangers. As I mentioned, a starter in his career, although a handful of times in the minor leagues this year used out of the pen, and now that's going to be his role in these remaining few weeks with a big club. And he gets Vogt to lift one high in the air, shallow left. Carlos Gomez, 1 away.
Well, Carlos Gomez again showing the willingness to call off Elvis Andrus, taking everything he can possibly get. And you know, Elvis, he goes out after every ball hard, thinking he's going to catch it. But Gomez is really running off a lot of balls, and Elvis kind of feigns disdain for that. But I'm sure he's appreciative of it too.
And that's part of the Gomez game that I don't know that we talk enough about. We talk about the 6 home runs so far that he's had as a Ranger, but he's a former Gold Glove center fielder.
Yep.
Now we talked when they signed him about the 5 tools. We've seen him use the speed at times to make a difference in a game. So the defense in that Cleveland series on the last homestand made some really great plays out on left. But he has certainly Gotten the attention of a lot of folks with the way he has swung the bat. 2 balls, no strikes now on Chris Davis, who is just 1 for 3 tonight. Yonder aiming for that outside corner, but doesn't get the call from Tom Payne.
Yeah, you got to be careful here. There's no guarantee that Chris Davis is going to have the stop sign, do not swing sign.
Mendez fires in a fastball. 3-1. To your point, that was not like a belt high fastball either. Nope. That was a quality strike, as we say, and now it's a full count. So it's been away mostly on Chris Davis in this at bat. He's retired the first 4 batters he has faced in his payoff pitch. He'll lose Davis to the walk. Tonight the A's have looked a lot more like the A's of 5-10 years ago, where they would work a lot of counts and draw a lot of walks. Now they haven't had to work hard necessarily tonight for some of the walks.
Right. Yeah, this A's team this year overall has not resembled any of those teams. Second fewest walks in the American League, and just not doing much with what they have. A low on-base percentage, the lowest on-base percentage in the American League too. And Bob Melvin's club just has not been able to find a way to create offense. They rely on home runs, and they haven't been very good at hitting those, with the exception of Davis and Semien.
Fastball for a strike, 1-1 to Ryan Healy.
But now with Healy and it looks like Eibner maybe, and some of the younger players coming along, they may have an opportunity to get back to the patient at bats, the passive aggressive approach.
Yeah, I'd say that's one of the things when you look at some of the numbers for some of the young kids coming up that they're excited about, and giving extended looks to some of these young players, guys like Joey Wendell and others, is that they do seem to embrace that kind of older Oakland A's approach of being very patient, working pitchers and getting advantageous counts. To wit, here's Ryan Healy with a 3-1 count. We had a 3-run second inning, 3 runs in the 5th, 7 runs on 7 hits tonight. And Healy misses this one. Odor wandering around trying to track it down, and there are 2 away. We talk about all the young players in Oakland. They're in that position now where they very much have to look to their system to produce. Most in Major League Baseball this year. Not surprising to see teams like the Reds, Diamondbacks, Rockies on that list. Yonder Alonso, a couple of walks tonight. And he has scored twice. That list of teams with heavy usage of rookie players this year. The Astros were their 4th on that list. And that's the one to me, when you go back and you look at this year for the Rangers' in-state rivals, that's one of the things I think might be cause for concern for Houston, is that they felt like they would have a lot of reinforcements from their minor league system. It wasn't like a lot of the rookies came up and really did contribute much this year for them. I think that might have them a little concerned.
Well, yeah, they had their prize rookies already playing at the big league level, and there was a gap in there. I bet Bregman was probably the one guy that fit in that gap that came up and did a pretty good job till he messed up his hamstring. But you're right. They needed a first baseman. They've had 5 different first basemen that haven't been able to come up and get the job done.
A base hit for Alonso down into the right field corner. Davis being waved around third. The relay from Odor sails way over the plate. 8-2 Oakland on the Alonso double.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that ball got into the corner and stuck in there, and by the time Nomar Mazara had to go and dig it out, it was too late to get Chris Davis. You know, a 2-out run-scoring double. That kind of negates what the Rangers were able to do last inning.
Yeah, those are tough. The two-out RBIs, they just hurt. And it doesn't get any easier either with Marcus Semien coming to the plate here. Doesn't always work out this way, Buzz, but when you look at tonight, Darvish walked 4 hitters, all 4 scored. Yonder's walked 1 batter, and he has scored. I mean, they'll kill you, the walks, but they have been particularly damaging tonight.
Yeah, they'll kill you if you're not if you don't have the ability on that night to compensate by making quality pitches afterwards. If you're just walking guys because, well, like Darvish was tonight, where he couldn't find his pitches in the strike zone to save his life, he had no way to pitch around those walks. I think in general, if you're walking a guy here and a guy there, maybe 3 or 4 per 9 innings on average, and you have the ability to pitch around them, then they don't hurt you as much. But you're right, you know, walks to the number 9 hitter, to a leadoff hitter in an inning in a close ball game, those are almost always going to come back and provide problems for you.
2-2 the count now to Semien, who walked and scored earlier, also at the 3-run homer in the 5th. Mendez needing a strike to get through this 7th inning. Here it comes. Full count. Well, your hot spots for home runs this year for Semien is 26 home runs.
Thigh high on the inner part of the plate. That's a pretty joyful spot for a lot of hitters. A lot of power hitters.
This one lifted out to right field. Playable for Maz, and the inning is over, but the A's get one of the runs back. We'll stand and stretch and check in with PA announcer Chuck Morgan.
Will you please rise and direct your attention now to the area behind home plate, and once again welcome from the Arlington, Texas Police Department, Sergeant Ray Polk. In honor of all the veterans who have served our country and the servicemen and women who are currently stationed at home and around the world, Sergeant Ray Polk will now perform God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Brought to you by T-Mobile. How about James Paxton? Perfect through 5 innings tonight up in Seattle as they host the Houston Astros. And pretty efficient so far. Then the bad news in New York, Jacob deGrom done for the year, and he is going to have surgery to repair that ulnar nerve in his right elbow. It's another one of those hard-throwing Mets with problematic arms. So that's tough news for the Mets. Big news for the Mariners, who are very much in need of a win tonight at home in their pursuit of the American League wild card, or one of the American League wild cards. Jonathan Lucroy leading things off in the 7th inning for the Rangers, down by 6. John Axford stays in the game. He came in to get the final out of the 6th inning. 1-1 on Lucroy, who has flied out to right, lined out to short.
Well, Lucroy, I don't know John Axford pretty well. They were battery mates in Milwaukee for a number of years. So not many secrets between those two as far as pitch selection and location.
Right-handers 1-1. And that ball bounced down to third. Good backhand pick by Healy. It's to show off the arm, and that is out number 1. Check it again with Rick Renner on a Chevy game break. Oh, yeah, thanks, Rick. Great battle going in the American League wild card. So many teams still in it. Mitch Moreland ending things off here, 0 for 2. Baltimore, despite the many flaws that people love to point out about the Orioles, they continue to hang around. Came into action today 81-66. High chopper to first, and Yonder Alonso takes care of business, 2 away.
Right fielder Nomar Mazara.
Now another great crowd. This the penultimate homestand for the Rangers. We'll hit the road for a very quick 3 games in Oakland, and then back for 3 against Milwaukee, and then 3 against Tampa Bay in that last week of the season. Of course, heavily loaded home schedule. The back end of the season for the Rangers. Nomar Mazara. Nomar today 0 for 2. So Buzz, I was mentioning earlier in that Cleveland-Detroit game, the Indians with a big win today, 1-0. 10 pitchers in 10 innings. And Mazara was a bouncer to second base, and Wendell takes care of it. Most pitches thrown by anyone in that outing, 35. So short outings for all. We go to the 8th, 8-2 Oakland.
They're on their honeymoon from Japan. That's right. They were here at yesterday's game as well. Last night's game. They came back tonight, having a good time. Do not speak much English, but you did have a nice time eating all the ballpark food. What did you have? Ballpark food? Hamburger. Yes, very good. Well, congratulations. Here's the bag. You guys are going after this. You're going where? To New York? Yes. To see the Mets, but you're not going to wear the Ranger gear. You're going to wear the Ranger gear. We're going to keep you wearing the Ranger gear, but no Met gear, okay? Well, congratulations. Glad you can spend your honeymoon here from Japan. Enjoy the rest of the game, all right? We're looking for a Ranger comeback, right? Okay. All right, there we go. All right, there we go, Dave.
Hey, Kirby. Nice, Noxie.
Awesome. Thank you.
Very agreeable.
Yeah.
7 innings played, and as we go to the 8th, Dario Alvarez will come in to throw.
Now, Alvarez, a combined 24th appearance of the year. He was with the Atlanta Braves before coming over, along with Lucas Harrell, the last couple of days of July. This is 8th appearance in a Ranger uniform.
Gets a strike in there to Bruce Maxwell. And he's got a new battery mate, Brett Nicholas. Comes in, so a brand new battery in this 8th inning. Base hit left field for Maxwell. Well, Yoander Mendez went 2 innings, gave up a run on a hit, 1 walk. That was in relief of Yu Darvish, who had one of his rougher outings in a long while. 7 runs on 5 hits. Tomorrow will be the final game in this 3-game series. Colby Lewis has the start. Ross Detweiler will get the ball for the Oakland A's. And a strike to Brad Eibner to begin his at bat here in the 8th inning. Eibner 0 for 3 tonight. So that'll be a big start for Colby.
Yeah, Colby just talked to me the other day as we were, said, hey, look, I'm not going to kill the world with my last several outings, but he said what I want to do is build the stamina up, make sure everything checks out well, and try to get my location where I need it. That's the big thing. And Colby said he's able to throw all the pitches with the velocity that he needs to work with. Now it's refining everything to where he can go deeper into a ball game and feel comfortable with it.
2-strike pitch to Eibner, and just a little bit outside. Is it too much of an exaggeration to say that it could be treated in some ways like a rehab start, where in rehab starts we don't often worry too terribly much about the results as much as it is a pitcher, as you were just talking about, stamina, getting the pitches back, the feel back?
Even though you have those in mind, those are some things you want to accomplish, it's still about winning. Anytime you step between the white lines in a major league game, it's about winning. And that's be the foremost thing in Colby's mind, I would guarantee you. But he will not be satisfied with anything unless he helps the ball club win. You know, everything else is really secondary to that.
Maxwell at first. And it's a full count on Eibner. Well, you know the top 2 spots in the rotation once the Rangers advance to the postseason, which, by the way, is not done yet. Their magic number remains at 6 coming into tonight. Any combination of Ranger wins and or Seattle losses totaling 6 will clinch it. Fly ball out there to Gomez, 1 away. This is the 149th game of the regular season for the Rangers, so there's still, you know, a handful of games left, just inside 10% of the season left, and any of those 6 games to clinch the division. But once they get there, you know your top two starters. And then I think popular opinion would be that Colby would be number 3, provided he stays healthy and can be effective.
Yeah, that's the way the rotation's set up right now. It's set up this way for a reason, and that was one of the luxuries that the Rangers had to work with, in that they had a large lead with a couple of weeks left. So Jeff Bannister and Doug Rocaille and everybody were able to sit down and say, okay, we can manipulate things a little bit here. How do we want to set it up going forward so that, assuming we don't have any setbacks, everybody is in the order we want them to, looking forward to the postseason. That's not saying this is, we're set, so we're just going to go out there and do it. But here's how we'd love to have it work out. If everybody stayed in turn, there were no injuries, no out of the ordinary outings, then okay. And so Colby logically would be the number 3 starter in that rotation, with Martin Perez falling in behind.
Base hit out into right field for Joey Wendell. A's have a couple of men on. And the second place hitter, Danny Valencia, will be heading to the plate.
But having said that, there always can be reinsertions or substitutions within that framework. And I'm sure that, when you have Derek Holland, you have A.J. Griffin, and some other guys available to you, they're not out of the picture. But right now, all things being equal, this is the way that Bannister and Bocale have set it up to optimize the time left in the season to get things going that direction.
And the other thing is that they end up having now 2 off days in these last couple of weeks, which, if you're going to continue to work with, let's say, 6 guys and experiment a little bit, it's almost too much with the extra off days.
Right.
So he has to kind of confine things a little bit too. So it's an odd challenge in these last couple of weeks to keep guys fresh and on schedule, and yet give everybody that fair look to them, fair look for you if you're Jeff Bannister and Doug Bocale, to see like, well, how is AJ throwing right now? How is Derek throwing right now as we head into the postseason?
Yeah, that's one thing that they won't have is a tryout situation. That's not going to happen. They've already seen enough of everybody to understand who can do what for you in what circumstances. So it's not going to be, well, let's try this guy today and see how he does, and that'll determine what he does from here on in. That's not going to happen.
You want the guy, though, with the hot hand, right?
Well,
I mean, you want the guy who's pitching.
You want the guy with the track record first.
Well, that's true.
And that's more important than what did he do yesterday.
Which goes to the Colby thing. Right?
Exactly.
Colby's got that track record.
Exactly. And assuming that Colby is healthy, and he is, and assuming that he's pitching the way he's capable of, and he has been, then you have a pretty good idea what he's going to do for you when you get to the ultimate situation.
2-2. The count on Valencia, who has a hit and 4 tries tonight. Couple of men out there for the A's. Well, another big offensive night for Oakland. 8 runs tonight. They had 6 runs yesterday. This has been some kind of road trip for the green and gold, which began with 4 games in Kansas City. Alvarez to the plate, 2-2. And a fly ball well struck center field. Desmond back there, and he runs out of room. Another 3-run homer for the Oakland A's, this time Danny Valencia. It's 11-2 Oakland. Mercy.
Well, and you can see why this was a club that was averaging exactly 11 runs, or just short of 11 runs per game in that 4-game series against Kansas City because of the long ball. They had 3 home runs tonight. They had more than 3 home runs in 3 of the 4 games in Kansas City. And Valencia is able to do it. I've seen that Joey Wendell tonight was able to hit his first major league home run. And also Marcus Semien, who's done it all year long. So they're not lacking for power.
Well, Stephen Vogt, who's been caller tonight in 4 trips. They have scored early and often tonight. First batter of the game scored. Then they added 3 runs in the second, 3 runs in the 5th, 3 more here in the 8th. Tacked on a run in the 7th. Alvarez, 3rd pitcher of the night in his 2-0. It's a corner for strike 1. Look at that. Double-digit runs in 3 of their last 6 games. It's been a long couple of years for Oakland A's fans. Last year, very disappointing, worst record in the American League. This year, another stinker. His Vogt, that little tapper, can't beat it out. And a 1-3 put out. There are 2 away. But they have given their faithful some optimism here in the month of September. Well, so much for that perfect game. Astros have broken through. And they have a 2-0 lead now out in Seattle. That game bottom of the 6th inning. So the Astros go ahead and win that ball game, then they would be in a tie with the Mariners for second place in the division. And that would whittle one more game off the Rangers' magic number, get them down to 5. Davis 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. That'll square things now. 1-1 on Chris Davis. Rangers have done a good job of keeping him in the ballpark so far tonight.
Yeah. Haven't made him cut his swing down at all, though.
No.
He still has that big hack. He might have hurt his left hand in the last one. You swing that hard, you deserve to get hurt.
Another big cut. This one will end up in the seats. Now, when guys would swing that violently against you, was it offensive?
Times have changed, Dave.
Well, I know. But I mean, you didn't like it, right? I mean, that.
I didn't really appreciate it, no. They put it in play. There wasn't much I could do right then.
Not right then. One and 2 on Davis. Another 3-run explosion in this 8th inning for the A's, and a sharply hit base hit into left for Davis, his second hit of the night. That's 12 hits tonight for Oakland. Here comes Jeff Bannister. Well, that may be all for Dario Alvarez. He just struggled getting outs in this inning. Leclerc, with his final warm-up toss, makes his way on. It's a 9-run Oakland lead. Back with Leclerc in just a moment. '30th, courtesy of Big Green Egg come support the Rangers. They will be hosting the Tampa Bay Rays. Use the coupon code Fireworks to get upper level tickets for just $14 at TexasRangers.com/specials. So Jose Leclerc on here with 2 down in the 8th inning. And he will deal with Ryan Healy. 11-2 Oakland.
Last time we saw Jose was down in Houston 4 nights ago, and he worked 2/3 of an inning against the Astros. This is 8th appearance overall. He's had 2 stints with the Rangers. He was originally called up 6th of July, was with the ball club for a couple of weeks, and came back up when the rosters expanded after the 1st of September.
Fouled off by Healy, 1-1 the count.
This is 5th outing. Jose Leclerc working tonight, has been scored upon only 1 time in the previous 4.
He's just trying to put an end to this 8th inning. An 8th inning that Alvarez just couldn't quite navigate all the way through. Healy sends this high in the air, very high up there, but shallow right, and right there for it, Mazzara. He's been busy in right field, inning over 3 more runs for the A's, and they have opened up a wide lead tonight.
Life Park in Arlington, trailing the A's 11-2 in the second of a 3-game series between these 2 teams. That means the finale comes tomorrow, a day game affair here on Fox Sports Southwest. There you see a couple of the hot hitters in this one. Chris Davis, of course, 8 home runs this season against Texas, and then Carlos Beltran with that .366 average in his last 18. 1:30 coverage here on Fox Sports Southwest. First pitch around 2 o'clock. And a big thanks to the fine folks at AT High-Speed Internet for getting us ready for the finale of this 3-game series between the A's and the Rangers. Dave.
Thanks, Emily. Hanser Alberto pinch hitting in this 8th inning, and he goes after the first pitch. It is retired for the first out as Zach Neal has come on to pitch.
Well, Zach Neal from Flower Mound, Texas, with high school there, went to the University of Oklahoma. With the Oakland A's now, signed a minor league deal with him prior to the 2014 season. 19th appearance of the year, 2-4 his record.
Pretty efficient so far. Took care of Hanser. Now here is Carlos Gomez, and he dumps in strike 1. AT High-Speed Internet instant replay. Now, and it was high speed. Gomez got out of here in a hurry. 2-run shot of the 6th inning, and that has been the Rangers offense tonight. Bouncer left side. Simeon with the long throw. And it pulls Alonso off the bag. It is a base hit for Gomez.
Carlos still the good wheels. He's able to get down the line in a hurry, and Simeon did a pretty good job to even make it close. Kind of throwing without even planting and setting up well. I mean, that made it pretty close at first base, but Carlos able to grab his 2nd hit of the night.
There you go. So a base runner. Delano DeShields' real hit for Ian Desmond. Delano at the right side, and Neal's first offering. A called strike. Well, looked like it might have been a little bit in on DeShields. A 9-run game, bottom of the 8th. Chopper third base, but foul, and that puts DeShields in a hole 0-2. Jake Smolinski's come in to play left field this inning for Oakland. Chris Davis done for the night. Righty on righty here, and Chopper third. We'll go to second for one of the relay from Wendell, not in time. Tough to double up Delano DeShields. If they get the force out of Gomez, and Delano on via the fielder's choice. 2 out. And Jeff Hoying is going to hit for Beltran.
Hey, Healy and Wendell did a pretty good job of making that thing worth looking at. My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, the play developed pretty well. The reality, though, is DeShields, boy, it's got to be pretty much perfect conditions to get him.
You're right.
So Hoying, and he'll foul off strike 1. Saw him last night as a pinch runner. The average sub 200.
Thought he had his first major league home run the other night down in Houston. Hit one over the foul pole, it looked like to us anyway. That was in an extra inning game on Tuesday night.
Yeah, and I saw a replay. It looked like it was a super slow-mo, like it shaved off just a smidge of the ear of one of the cows or whatever it was on the foul pole.
Yeah.
0-2 the count on Hoying. And a new baseball. So tomorrow the final game. Be out here playing under the sunshine. And then Oakland heads off. Rangers will stay home as the Angels come to town Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It certainly has a look as if tomorrow will be a rubber game in this series. Hoying hammers one down the right field line, but foul. That's why you stay with it. That guy made the initial contact with what's he holding a baby? He got the hand on that thing and then stayed with it. What in the world? I guess that's, chalk that up to alertness. Hoying out in front of Zach Neal in this at bat. And a breaking ball this time popped up. Third base side foul ground. And we've seen this a few times. Healy over there and has plenty of room. And that will end the inning. No runs. A Rangers hitting a man left. And we will go to the 9th inning with the A's leading by 9.
Position for their 46th comeback win of the year. I always believe in this team. Rick Renner here on the Rangers Live set. Coming up on Rangers Live, presented by Frontier Communications. We'll wrap this one up. We got Mark McLemore to break it all down. Emily Jones working the clubhouse for interviews. We'll hear from Jeff Bannister, and we'll tell you about some big news about the team that's chasing the Rangers for the top seed in the American League. And we'll have all that after the game. Right now, I'll kick it across the diamond for the big 9th inning rally, guys.
There you go. Thanks, Rick. Now Olsen is going to pinch hit here. Matt Olsen. And he takes strike 1. Jose Leclerc stays in the game. He got the final out of the 8th inning. And for the first time in this series, we get a look at this young man. A little September call-up for him, and he hits one high in the air, shallow left center. The center fielder Gomez coming over to make the play. Carlos has just come in, or rather moved over to center field for this 9th inning, because Delano DeShields stays in the game in left. That's not all, though. Joey Gallo into play third base. Hans Roberto, who we saw last half inning, stays in at short. And Jurickson Profar will finish this one out at second. Other than that, pretty much everything else is normal. One out. And a big night tonight for Marcus Semien. 2 for 3 with a walk, a 3-run homer. Leclerc makes it 1-1. Semien leads the American League in errors by shortstop, and last year he set an Oakland record with 35 errors at short. This year 20. You know, he struggles a little bit defensively, but offensively he can put up some numbers. He does strike out swinging for the second out of this 9th inning. And so Leclerc has faced 3 batters, retired all 3.
Marcus Semien shaking his head. He was even talking to John Tumpane. He said, "What in the world was that I just swung at?" Tumpane said, "I'm sorry, I can't help you."
It happened so fast, it seemed, for Semien. I think he almost wondered, did I really swing? What?
He got quick pitch, and Leclerc got him in a hurry, and that's a little embarrassing.
Now Maxwell. Leclerc throwing strikes. Maxwell 2 for 4 tonight. 11 runs on 12 hits for the A's.
And on another big offensive night. Rangers just a couple of runs on 6 hits. They were handled pretty effectively by Raul Alcantara, the rookie right-hander, making just his 3rd big league start. One and 2 the count.
Yeah, Leclerc's got really a good lively arm, and his ability to throw that changeup that moves both ways on demand is a big plus for him. He has better command of that than a lot of young pitchers do of their off-speed stuff.
Now still just 22 years old. A guy who has moved rapidly through the system and getting some valuable time, not just valuable big league time, but valuable big league time and meaningful games in September. 2 and 2. Fastball up in the mid-90s tonight. Maxwell, guy called up July 23rd. This is his 20th start in the last 50 games for the A's. He had a good night, but he strikes out swinging to end a perfect 9th inning for Leclerc with a couple of strikeouts. So the young right-hander pretty sharp. And now the Rangers' last chance coming up, down by 9. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By AT high-speed internet. Get a deal worth talking about. Get high-speed internet from AT&T. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today for incredible deals and see why Ford is the best in Texas. Well, what a spectacular scene. Gorgeous for the outside tonight. It's not been as pretty indoors here. This one 11-2 Oakland. So a handful of changes for Oakland as this 9th inning will begin with Joey Gallo.
Yeah, Daniel Coulombe, the left-hander coming out of the A's bullpen to take over here in the 9th. Almost decapitates Joey Gallo. Coulombe, 29th appearance of the year. He's 3-1, ERA of just south of 5. 229 opponent's batting average against Coulombe. We've seen him in various situations this year against the Rangers. At one time, he was taking the place of Sean Doolittle as the primary 7th and 8th inning left-hander for Bob Melvin.
On his task tonight, finish this thing off way upstairs with that one. It's 2-1. Gallo, then Jurickson, Profar, and Brett Nicholas in this 9th inning. Coulombe's 2-1. Every great comeback begins with that leadoff walk in the 9th. If Gallo can get it. That's been one of the improvements in Gallo's game this year, has been that ability maybe cut down the strikeouts just a little bit, increase the number of walks. It's a full count. Left-hander Coulombe, 5'10", 190 pounds. 26 years old, and his payoff on the way to Gallo. And there you go. There's your leadoff walk. You do get to the point where you've seen this Rangers team pull off so many incredible comebacks. Nothing would surprise you. I will say this one,
it would surprise
that
you,
would be pretty, pretty newsworthy, but it's why we keep watching, man.
One step toward it.
Here's Profar, his first at bat of the night, and a bouncer right to second base, and return a quick and simple one to turn 2. Rundle Semien to handle that one nicely. 4-6-3 double play. It'll be up to Brett Nicholas. Tomorrow, we mentioned it, Colby Lewis against left-hander Ross Detweiler, the pitching matchup. 2:05 start for the first pitch, and it looks very much like it'll be the rubber game of this series. The Rangers winning a heart stopper last night, 7-6. Oakland controlling it tonight, 11-2 to score. Yu Darvish had the start today, gave up a career high 7 runs. 0-2 the count on Nicholas. And the work from the bullpen, Yonder Mendez, Dario Alvarez, Jose Leclerc. And Nicholas down swinging. And that will be it for the Rangers tonight. Quiet rally in the 9th inning. Falls short. 11-2 the final score. We'll be back with more in just a moment.